Told he was too small to succeed, rejected by clubs, and battling a growth disorder, Lionel Messi's journey to football greatness was anything but easy. From the streets of Rosario to dominating the world stage, let's see how this shy kid became one of the greatest of all time. A young boy's dream. It all begins in Rosario, Argentina, a place where football was pretty much a religion rather than a sport. In the heart of the slums, a little boy's story begins. One that would change the world of football forever. On the 24th of June 1987, Lionel Andre Messi was born into a working-class family. His father was a steel factory worker and his mother worked as a cleaner. He was the last of 4 children and had 2 older brothers and a younger sister, and from the moment he could walk, he took a liking to football. His grandmother would see something in him that no one else did and would often take him to play football in the fields. At the age of 4, he had a peculiar footwork that none of his peers had, and he could dribble around players, and none of them were able to take the ball from his feet. This would gain him instant recognition, and by the age of 5, a local club by the name of Grandoli wanted him to play for them. His father coached in the same club, so they got to bond over football, but something happened that would take his joy away in an instant. His grandmother suddenly passed away. Messi would be left devastated, and anytime he stepped onto the field and scored a goal, he would look up at the sky and dedicate every single point to her. A ritual he continues to this day. In 1995, he moved up to the prestigious Newell's Old Boys Club, where he then joined the most elite team of the club, the Machine of 87. The team dominated every competition, and by the time that Messi was 11 years old, he had scored almost 500 goals. People began to whisper he may have been the new Maradona. Messi did have a huge problem, though. He was smaller and shorter than other kids, and it seemed as though he wasn't growing at all. He was below 5 feet in height and fragile, and his parents took him to see a doctor where they confirmed the worst. Messi had a growth hormone deficiency which had stunted his growth. It was a condition that would prevent him from growing to a normal height, and the crazy part was, there was a treatment for the condition, but it was so expensive that his parents couldn't afford it. Messi would have to take hormone injections every day for a long time, which would cost $1,500 per month, much too expensive for the family budget. They went from one club to another begging for assistance, and Newell's Old Boys Club promised to pay, but later backed out when they heard how much it would cost. And some of Argentina's biggest clubs would end up turning them down. Messi was about to give up on his dreams of ever playing football until something unexpected happened, and that's when Barcelona called. Every football fan dreams of making the right call and winning big. Now it's your turn to bet on your passion and turn your football knowledge into real crypto winnings. Welcome to Crypto Rush Sportsbook, where every match is an opportunity. Bet on your favorite teams, cash out instantly, and celebrate like a champion. Crypto Rush makes betting easy, fast, and 100% crypto-friendly. Visit Crypto Rush now and start your winning streak today. Use code CR50 and get $50 free to play sportsbook, slots, and casino games. Crypto Rush Sportsbook. Bet smart, win big. Contract on a napkin. Word about Messi's talents would reach a scout for FC Barcelona, and even though the club had never signed a player so young, Messi was invited for a trial. The trial would last 2 minutes before the coaches stopped. They were highly impressed and wanted to hand him a contract right there on the spot. But bureaucracies would slow things down, and Messi's father was beginning to wonder if they had changed their minds. This was where something bizarre happened. The scout grabbed a napkin at a Barcelona restaurant and wrote down Messi's first contract and gave it to him, saying, "Welcome to FC Barcelona." The napkin does still exist today, the outlandish document that changed his entire career. After signing, Messi was far from home and often felt homesick, but when he was on the field, he was unstoppable. He dribbled and scored with ease, and at just 17 years old became the nightmare of every defender. He would first play in La Masia, a youth academy where the greatest talents were forged, but was more than a talent and often referred to as an alien. He made his debut on the 16th of October 2004, scoring his first senior goal with an assist from none other than the legend Ronaldinho, who passed the torch on to Messi. Love and loyalty. While Lionel Messi's career was a spectacle of trophies, his personal life remained rooted in loyalty and love. When he was just 9 years old, he met the cousin of a childhood best friend who also lived in Rosario. And even as a young boy, he would write her letters promising to come back for her. Their love would face the toughest challenge when Messi moved to Spain at the age of 13, and they had actually lost touch for a few years. but as fate would have it, they were destined to be together. In 2007, they reconnected once again, where Messi took her everywhere that he went, and they became inseparable. First taste of greatness. Under Pep Guardiola, Barcelona had flourished, transforming into an unbeatable team. Messi dazzled the crowds with his fancy footwork and exceptional goals that became highlights for years to come. Mentored by Ronaldinho, the Brazilian superstar would grow to become more confident and earn respect in the locker room. Other players felt that he was going to do great things for the club, perhaps even greater than Ronaldinho himself. And in 2005, Messi would get his first taste of glory as Barcelona won La Liga. This was only the beginning, though. There was much more to come, and his next few victories were spurred by a rivalry that became one of the biggest between two great football players in the whole of football history. A rivalry is born. Messi missed a large part of the 2006 season because of a hamstring injury that placed him on the bench for the rest of the season. But when he returned in 2007, something had changed. A brand new star rose up out of a young Portuguese player by the name of Cristiano Ronaldo. The two stars shone brightly in their clubs, shattering records while chasing each other to see who could accomplish more each and every season. Messi's goal in the 2007 Copa del Rey sent shivers down the spine of fans. During the semifinals, Messi took off from his half, dribbled past 5 defenders, and then the goalkeeper before scoring a fantastic goal. From that day on, he was closely compared to Maradona. He didn't win the Best Player of the Year, but was patient and knew that his time would come. In 2008, Pep Guardiola became Barcelona's head coach, and guess what his first move was? He built an entire team around Messi. As Ronaldinho and Deco left Barcelona, Messi dropped the jersey number 19 and picked up 10, one of the most exceptional numbers in all of football. He unleashed his wrath, claiming trophies for La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League in the 2008 and 9 season. On the 27th of May 2009, Barcelona would face Manchester United in the Champions League final. It was Messi versus Ronaldo, and the world watched on with bated breath. It was a heated match, but the defining moment came when Messi delivered a fantastic header past the keeper. Barcelona took the Champions League victory, and it was Messi's first European title. At just 22 years old, he had won his first Ballon d'Or and was awarded Best Player in the world. The Messi and Cristiano rivalry never really ended. From 2008 to 21, Messi and Ronaldo won every single Ballon d'Or except for one. Goals and dominance. In 2010, Messi proved to the world that he was a one-man squad by securing the Ballon d'Or again. Winning as a team would have been great, but since that didn't happen, he was happy to win the highest scorer of the year. He held a record of 47 goals in 53 games, and in 2011 snatched it once again with 53 goals. He was winning the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry at this time, but things would get heated up when Ronaldo signed to Real Madrid. That didn't stop the Argentinian GOAT from stealing the Ballon d'Or again for the fourth time in 2012, and this time with a jaw-dropping 91 goals. But 2012 would also mark something of the beginning of a downward spiral as Coach Guardiola left the team, and that's when things began to go downhill. Pain and sorrow. After Pep left the team, Barcelona had sort of lost the spark. Cristiano, on the other hand, had won the Ballon d'Or in 2013 and 14. Messi did come close to winning the World Cup for his country, but it just wasn't meant to be, and he went on to win the Golden Ball as the best player of the season. Things got even worse as he lost the Copa America finals in both 2015 and 16, and it seemed as though that bad luck would never end. People were beginning to place pressure on Messi. The Argentinian media and fans, instead of showing support for their hero, started saying all sorts of things about him and making statements as though he didn't match up to Maradona and didn't care about Argentina. He only wins when he's with Barcelona. It was a painful year for Messi. Barcelona wasn't doing well, and the team would exit the quarterfinals much to their disappointment. In 2020, Messi would lose a mentor as the legendary Maradona passed away. In 2016, when Argentina lost the World Cup and fans tore Messi's image to shred, he decided to go and retire from international football, but the fans and even the president of Argentina pleaded with him to reconsider. He did return in the 2018 World Cup for Argentina and then lost to France. Perhaps it just wasn't meant to be. In 2021, he had his last opportunity to win something for his country, the Copa America. After a grueling season, he brought the cup home and was finally a champion for Argentina, leaving Barcelona a painful goodbye. In August of 2021, something unexpected happened that would leave the world in shock. Barcelona ran into financial difficulties and could no longer afford to pay Messi's contract. Even though Messi was willing to take a 50% pay cut, it didn't make a difference. Barcelona had to let the star player go. It sounded like a bad joke and fans were devastated. It was an emotional time, and Messi couldn't help but weep at a conference. He had spent his entire life in Barcelona, and after 672 goals and 778 games, 10 La Ligas, 4 Champions League wins, and 6 Ballon d'Ors, he was forced to leave the club that had saved his life and given him a career. The love-hate relationship with PSG. Lionel Messi was a high-profile player and very few clubs could afford him. However, in August of 2021, he signed a 2-year deal with PSG, reuniting with his old teammate Neymar, along with Mbappe, in what was supposed to be a dream team. Winning the Copa America would give him new hope for Argentina, but one trophy remained: the World Cup. In Qatar in 2022, he played his heart out, scoring 7 goals and 3 assists, and faced off with his PSG teammate Mbappe of France in the finals. It was a fierce match which led to penalties, and that was where Argentino's Gonzalo Montiel scored the final kick, and Argentina won the 2022 World Cup. Messi had finally gotten to lift one of the trophies that had eluded him for his entire career. However, in his new club, he was having difficulties with the transition, and the first season was his lowest scoring in over a decade, with only 6 goals. Critics wondered if his time in football was up, and when PSG crashed out of the Champions League in 2022 after playing Real Madrid, the fans would boo him at home games. It became a spectacle that he had never experienced before, and he later proved himself by scoring 16 goals in League One, but the relationship between Messi and the club had already turned sour. In May of 2023, Messi was suspended by PSG for an unauthorized trip to Saudi Arabia, and that would be the final straw. And Messi immediately left after his contract expired. Many speculated he would go to Saudi Arabia or Barcelona, but he did the unthinkable, joining Inter Miami in Major League Soccer in the United States, much to everyone's surprise. He signed a $50 million per year contract and led Inter Miami to their first ever trophy by winning the league's cup. This is why he is and will always remain the greatest footballer of his era.